Good afternoon, all. Welcome to the lecture of number theory. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in last lecture we have started what is a Mobius function. After that we have seen what is a Morton's lemma and Mobius inversion theorem. Okay. Now screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is one result. Let capital F be a multiplicative function. Multiplicative function and let capital F of n is equal to summation over d divides n small f of d. Then we have to prove that then small f is also a multiplicative function. Okay. So here we have given that capital F be a multiplicative function and there is one function capital F of n which is defined as summation over d divides n f of d. Then we have to prove that this small f is also a multiplicative function. Okay, we have already proved one result, that is if small f be any multiplicative function and the function capital F of n is nothing but summation over d divides n f of d, then capital F is also a multiplicative function. But here we have given that capital F is multiplicative and we have to prove that small f is multiplicative. Okay, so it's proof. Now from the definition of multiplicative function, any number theoretic function f is just said to be a multiplicative if f of m into n will be equal to f of m into f of n whenever gcd of m and n will be equal to 1. That for that we have to consider two numbers m and n which are relatively prime. Let us take let m and n be relatively prime positive integers. Relatively prime positive integers. Okay, as m and n are relatively prime positive integers, again we have proved one result. If m and n are any two relatively prime integers, then any divisor d of this m into n is of the form d1 into d2, where d1 divides m and d2 divides n, and gcd of d1 d2 will be equal to 1. As here we have taken m and n are two relatively prime integers, then we know that any divisor d, any divisor d of m into n can be uniquely expressed as be uniquely expressed in the form or expressed as d equal to d1 into d2, where d1 divides m and d2 divides n, and also gcd of d1 d2 will be equal to 1. Okay, we have already proved this one. Okay, so as we have to prove small f is a multiplicative function, for that we have to consider two positive integers m and n which are relatively prime. As we have taken m and n are any two relatively prime positive integers, then by previous one theorem, any divisor of this m into n, that is any divisor d of this m into n is of the form d1 into d2, where d1 divides m and d2 divides n whenever gcd of d1 d2 will be equal to 1. Now we have to prove that small f is a multiplicative function. Multiplicative function. Okay, that is f of m into n is equal to f of m into f of n. That is we have to prove. Okay, for that let us consider by Mobius inversion formula. By Mobius inversion formula, what is Mobius inversion formula? If capital F of n is a function which is defined as summation over d divides n f of d, where f is small f is multiplicative function, then The small f of n is nothing but summation over d divided n mu of d into capital F of n upon d, or small f of n will be equal to summation over d divided n mu of n divided by d into capital F of d. Okay, so by Mobius inversion formula, that is, if capital F of n is equal to summation over d divides n small f of d, then small f of n is nothing but summation over d divides n mu of d into capital F of n divided by d. Okay, or we can write this f of n as, or f of n is equal to summation over d divides n mu of n divided by d into capital F of d. Okay, we have to use this result, as here n is nothing but m into n. Then by Mobius inversion formula, small f of m into n is equal to summation over d divides m into n mu of d into capital F of m into n divided by d. But here we have seen the divisor d is of the form d1 into d2, where d1 divides m and d2 divides n, and GCD of d1 d2 will be equal to 1. So this can be written as summation over d1 into d2 divides m into n. Now mu of d, but d is nothing but d1 into d2 f of m into n divided by d1 into d2. Okay, so this can be written as, but in this product d1 into d2, d1 divides m and d2 divides n. Therefore this can be written as summation over d1 divides m and d2 divides n. Now mu is a multiplicative function. In last lecture we have proved that the Mobius function mu is a multiplicative function. From that, this one is nothing but mu of d1 into mu of d2, and already we have given that capital F is a multiplicative function. As capital F is a multiplicative function and d1 divides m, d2 divides n, and GCD of n, m and n will be equal to 1, and GCD of d1 d2 will be equal to 1. Therefore GCD of m upon d1 comma n upon d2 must be equal to 1, and as f is multiplicative function, therefore this one is nothing but m of f of m divided by d1 into f of n divided by d2. Okay, now this can be written as summation over d1 divides m mu of d1 into capital F of m divided by d1 into summation over d2 divides n mu of d2 into capital F of n divided by d2. But from Mobius inversion formula, this one is nothing but, what is the value of this one? काय असेल?
F of m. F
Small
of
f
m.
of m असेल. This one is nothing but small f of m, and this one is nothing but small f of n. So here f of m into n is equal to f of m into f of n whenever GCD of m comma n is equal to 1, which implies small f is a multiplicative function. Okay, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now there are some examples. First one, find a positive integer n such that Mobius function of n plus mu of n plus 1 plus mu of n plus 2 is equal to 3. Okay, it's a solution. Here we have to find out the positive integer n for which mu of n plus mu of n plus 1 plus mu of n plus 2 will be equal to 3. Okay, as we know that Mobius function mu is nothing but mu of n will be equal to 1 whenever n equal to 1, which is equal to 0 whenever p square divides n, where p is a prime number, and which is equal to minus 1 to the power r, where n is nothing but p1 p2 up to so on pr, where each pi is a distinct prime for I running from 1 to r. That is, for last case, n is a square free integer, then its value will be minus 1 to the power r, and if p square divides n, then it will be 0, and which is equal to 1 whenever n will be equal to 1. So now here we have to find out the positive integer n for which addition of these three functions, that is mu of n plus mu of n plus 1 plus mu of n plus 2, will be equal to 3. This is possible only when mu of n equal to 1, mu of n plus 1 equal to 1, and mu of n plus 2 equal to 1. Since Mobius function can't give any value greater than 1, either it will give 0, minus 1 or 1. As we have to make this sum will be equal to 3, then there is only one possibility that each value, that is mu of n plus 1 and mu of n plus 2, must be equal to 1. Then only it is possible that its value will be 3. Otherwise it is not possible. का दुसरी कोणती केस आहे त्यासाठी a plus 3 मिळेल?
नो सर.
मोबियस फंक्शन व्हॅल्यू काय काय देतो तुमचा, द्यायला देतो 3 व्हॅल्यू 1 0 -1. सम दाखवायचं आहे 3 जर सम दाखवायचं असेल तर तुम्हाला प्रत्येकाची व्हॅल्यू 1च घ्यावं लागेल. जर एकाची 1 आहे दुसऱ्याची -1 आहे असं करून तुम्ही तिसऱ्याची 3 दाखवू शकत नाही ना, कारण मोबियस फंक्शनची व्हॅल्यू 3 कधी येतच नाही. जर तुम्हाला सम जर 3 दाखवायचं असेल तर तिन्हीची व्हॅल्यू 1 आली पाहिजे, तर असा इक्वल टू 3. ठीक आहे. Then tell me the value of n. Let us take n equal to 33. Okay. Then mu of 33 is equal to mu of. Tell me the prime factorization of 33.
11 into 3.
3 into 11. Then by the definition of Mobius function, what is its value?
Plus 1.
Minus 1 to the power 2, and which is equal to 1. Now mu of 34, that is n plus 1, 33 plus 1, which is 34. Okay, tell me the prime factorization of 34. I think 2 into 70. Correct hai na?
Yes, sir.
Again it is minus 1 to the power 2, and which is equal to 1. Mu of 35, that is 33 plus 2, which is equal to 35 can be
5
written
into
as
7.
5 into 7, and which is equal to minus 1 to the power square, and which is equal to 1. So mu of 33 plus mu of 34 plus mu of 35 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1, and which is equal to 3. So here n is nothing but 33. Okay.
सर काही जणांना जॉईन होता येत नाहीये.
जॉईन करायला सांगा आता. ओके. आणखी एखादा n सांगू शकता का? 23 ला तर आला. n equal to 40 होईल का? What is mu of n? That is mu of 40. Prime factorization of 40 will be
2 into 4 into 5.
2 into 4 म्हणजे ते 2 cube होईल ना?
Yes, sir.
2 cube into 5. Now 2 square divides this term, then its value will be
0.
is equal to 0. Mu of 41, as it is prime, then its value will be minus 1. Mu of 42, I think it is 2 into 21. Its value will be 1.
-1.
1 की minus 1.
-1 येणार सर. 7 3 21 येते.
Okay, so 2 into 21 into 3 into 7, which is equal to minus 1 to the power 3, and which is equal to minus 1. Whether mu of 40 plus mu of 41 plus mu of 42 will be equal to 3.
No sir.
Is equal to 0 minus 1 minus 1 is equal to minus 1, and which is equal to 3. Okay. Let us check for 93. N equal to 93. Mu of 93. Prime factorization for 93.
3 into 31.
3 into 30.
3 into 31, which is equal to minus 1 to the power square, which is nothing but 1. Mu of 94. Into 47. Mu of 95.
5 into 19.
Into 19, which is equal to minus 1 to the power square, which is 1, which implies mu of 93 plus mu of 94 plus mu of 95 is equal to 3. Okay. परत कुणाला काही सांगायचं आहे का व्हॅल्यू कुठली येते याचं? n equal to 85 ला चेक करा. Mu of 87.
Into 29.
3 into
29.
29.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Whether 29 is prime.
Yes sir.
Okay. Which implies mu of 85 plus mu of 86 plus mu of 87 is equal to 3. Okay. असं चेक करू शकता आता तुम्ही?
हो सर.
Okay. Next example. For each positive integer n, show that mu of n into mu of n plus 1 into mu of n plus 2 into mu of n plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. So here we have to prove that for any positive integer n, this product mu of n into mu of n plus 1 into mu of n plus 2 into mu of n plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. As consider mu of n into mu of n plus 1 into mu of n plus 2 into mu of n plus 3. As mu is multiplicative function, then this is nothing but mu of n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 into n plus 3. Okay, mu is multiplicative function, then it holds this condition, which is from mu is multiplicative. Okay, now whatever will be the value of n, this product contains two odd number and two even number. If suppose n equal to 1, n equal to 1, n equal to 1, then it is odd, 1 plus 1 2, which is even, 1 plus 2 odd, and 1 plus 3 4, again it is even. Whatever will be the value of n, this product contains two terms will be odd and two will be even. Therefore from these two even number we take at least two common. If that is, as they are even number, then two must divide that number. Therefore if we take two common two times, then it is nothing but 2 square. Okay, so whatever will be the value of n, 2 square always divides this number. Then what is the mu value of this number?
0.
Which is equal to 0. Okay, कोणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
अजून एकदा सांगा सर.
प्रूव काय करायचं होतं, प्रत्येक पॉझिटिव्ह इंटिजर n साठी ही कंडिशन होल्ड झाली पाहिजे. ही होण्यासाठी आपण काय केलं, हे कन्सिडर केला, म्यू मल्टिप्लिकेटिव्ह फंक्शन आहे असं लिहू शकता. असं लिहिल्यानंतर तुम्ही n ची व्हॅल्यू काहीही घ्या, 1 2 3 4 अप टू सॉन, काही कंटिन्यू. एक जर ऑड घेतला तरी तुम्हाला दोन त्यातले दोन टर्म्स इवन मिळतील, दोन ऑड मिळतील, कारण ऑलरेडी तुमच्याकडे या टाईपमध्ये n इंटू n प्लस 1 n प्लस 2 n प्लस 3. जर तुम्ही n ला ऑड घेतलात तर n आणखीन n प्लस 2 हे दोन तुम्हाला ऑड मिळतील, आणखीन n प्लस 1 आणखीन n प्लस 3 हे इवन मिळतील. आणखीन जर n इवन घेतलात तर n प्लस 1 आणखीन n प्लस 3 ऑड मिळतील, आणखीन n प्लस 2 दोन टर्म इवन मिळतील. म्हणजे तुम्हाला ऑलवेज दोन टर्म इवन मिळणार आहेत. ते दोन टर्म म्हणजे इवन मिळणार आहेत, ते ऑलवेज ते दोन टर्म इवन मिळणार आहेत. त्यातून तुम्ही 2 कॉमन काढू शकता. म्हणजे या प्रोडक्ट मधून तुम्हाला दोन वेळा 2 ऍटलिस्ट 2 वेळा तरी कॉमन मिळेल. म्हणजे 2 स्क्वेअर तुम्हाला कॉमन मिळेल या टर्म मधून. 2 स्क्वेअर जर कॉमन मिळाला तर 2 स्क्वेअर या टर्मला ऑब्विसली डिवाइड करेल. जर 2 स्क्वेअर जर डिवाइड केला तर मोबियस फंक्शनच्या डेफिनेशन नुसार एखाद्या n ला जर p स्क्वेअर डिवाइड करत असेल, म्हणजे प्राइमचा स्क्वेअर जर डिवाइड करत असेल तर त्याची व्हॅल्यू काय असते, 0 असते. त्याच्यानुसार हा 0 मिळतो. n ची व्हॅल्यू काही का असेल. ठीक आहे.
येस सर.
Let n be a positive integer such that n is greater or equal by 3, then summation over k running from 1 to n mu of k factorial is equal to 1. Okay, so here we have to prove this one. So solution, given that n be any positive integer and which is always greater or equal by 3, that is we have to take the value of n is greater or equal by 3, then we have to prove that this sum, that is k running from 1 to n mu of k factorial is equal to 1. Okay, now to prove this result, to prove this example, that is to solve this example, we will use the mathematical induction. Okay, we use mathematical induction to solve this one. Okay, now as here we have to use the mathematical induction and n is greater or equal by 3, then for first step we have to take n is equal to 3. Step 1, let n is equal to 3. As n is equal to 3, then this sum is nothing but, which implies summation over k is running from 1 to 3 mu of k factorial, and which is nothing but, for k equal to 1, it is nothing but mu of 1 factorial plus mu of 2 factorial plus mu of 3 factorial. Okay, mu of 1 factorial is nothing but 1 plus mu of 2 factorial is nothing but 2 plus mu of 3 factorial will be equal to 6, and 6 can be written as 2 into 3. Okay, so what is the value of mu of 1?
1
1 plus mu of 2
minus 1
minus 1, and mu of 6
plus 1
plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled, and which is equal to 1, which implies the result is true for n equal to 3. For n equal to 3. Now, second step. Assume that the result is true for some n equal to m. N equal to m. That is summation k running from 1 to m mu of k factorial is equal to 1. Okay. Now in step 3, we have to prove that this result is also true for n equal to m plus 1. Then we say that the result is true for any value of n which is greater or equal by 3. Okay. Now to prove that result is true for n equal to m plus 1. For that, consider summation k running from 1 to m plus 1 mu of k factorial, and which can be written as summation k running from 1 to m mu of k factorial plus mu of m plus 1 factorial. Okay, but by second step, summation k running from 1 to m mu of k factorial is nothing but 1 plus mu of m plus 1 factorial. Now here we have to take the value of m will be greater or equal by 3, and as we have already proved that for result is true for m equal to 3. So if we take any value of m which is greater than 3, then it must contains the integer 4. Okay, that is the result will be true for n equal to 3. Therefore the possible value of m is equal to 4. If suppose this will be 4 plus 1 factorial, that is 5 factorial, then it must contain the term of 4. Therefore, for any value of m, it must contains an integer 4. That is 4 is nothing but 2 square, and 2 square always divides this m plus 1 factorial. Then what is the value of mu of m plus 1 factorial?
0
Which is again 0. So which is equal to 1. So summation k running from 1 to m plus 1 mu of k factorial will be equal to 1. So which implies the result is true for n equal to m plus 1. So by mathematical induction, result is true for each n which is greater or equal by 3, and here is the required result. Okay, कुणाल काही doubt?
no sir
No, sir.
हा n greater or equal by 3 का घ्यायचा? मला डाऊट आहे. जर n 1 पासून घेतला तर काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे? त्याने दिला म्हणून घ्यायचा.
n 1 असेल तर ऑब्विसली ट्रूथ असणार सर.
ऑब्वियसली ट्रू होईल का? mu of 1 factorial which is equal to mu of 1, हा 1 आहे. mu of 2 factorial which is equal to mu of 2,
0
सॉरी mu of त्या रिझल्ट नुसार घ्यायला पाहिजे ना आपण. समेशन k रनिंग फ्रॉम 1 to 2, हा समेशन फक्त k इक्वल टू 1 साठीचा होता. समेशन k रनिंग फ्रॉम 1 to 2 mu of k फॅक्टोरियल, हा काय येईल? mu of 1 फॅक्टोरियल प्लस mu of 2 फॅक्टोरियल, हा 1 आहे, हा -1 आहे, हा 0 आहे. म्हणजे हा केसला येणार नाही ना तो. करेक्ट आहे ना?
येस
एन
सर.
ग्रेटर इक्वल बाय 3 का घ्यायचा? वन फॅक्टोरियलला काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही, इथं मिळेल तुम्हाला. पण जर सॉरी एन इक्वल टू जर 2 असेल तर ही व्हॅल्यू किती मिळते? 0 मिळते तुम्हाला ना. म्हणजे त्या केससाठी तुमचा रिझल्ट फेल होईल. म्हणून एन ग्रेटर इक्वल बाय 3 जर घेतला तुम्ही तर हे +1 -1 तुमचा परत कॅन्सल होईल. म्हणजे पहिल्या 2 स्टेप मधले तुमचे हे 1 -1 कॅन्सल होऊन तुम्हाला तिथे 0 मिळेल. पण एन इक्वल टू 3 ला तुम्हाला परत 1 मिळेल आणि तिथून तो कंटिन्यू होईल. ठीक आहे. Now, next definition will be the greatest integer function. So, see its definition. Greatest integer function for any real number x is the largest integer less than or equal to x, less than or equal to x denoted by this symbol, that is square bracket x, and is the unique integer such that greatest integer function of x is always greater than x minus 1 and which is less equal by this x. Okay, so what is the greatest integer function for any real number x? The greatest integer value for any real number x is nothing but the largest possible integer which is less than or equal to that term x, is nothing but the greatest integer value of that x, and which is denoted by this symbol square bracket x, and it is the unique integer such that x minus 1 is always less than this greatest integer value of x and which is less equal by x. That is, if x is an integer, then greatest integer value of x is nothing but x itself. But if it is not integer, then it is the integer which is closer to this x. Okay. Now, for example, what is the greatest integer value of 5?
5.
5. Greatest integer value of 5 divided by 2?
2.
5 divided by 2, it is something 2.5, but which is not an integer. So here we have to take the integer which is less than or equal to this 2.5 and which is nothing but 2. Now, greatest integer value of 2 by 3?
0.
2 by 3, it is point something and its closure, here we have to take the integer which is less than or equal to that term which is nothing but 0. Now, mu of minus of 2 by 3?
-1.
येस. हे किती येईल? 2 by 3 काय येईल? 0.6 समथिंग येईल ना. म्हणजे मायनस ऑफ 0.6. मायनस ऑफ 0.6 पेक्षा 0 मोठा आहे ना. म्हणजे 0 तर येणार नाही. म्हणजे याच्यात जवळचा दुसरा इंटीजर कोणता असेल? -1 असेल. ठीक आहे ना. ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ पाय?
3.
3.
3. Since pi is nothing but something 3.142. So which is nothing but greatest integer value of e. What is the value of
2.
e? 2.718 काहीतरी आहे ना, which is nothing but 2. Okay. कोणाला काही डाऊट डेफिनेशन मध्ये?
No sir.
Now, let x be any real number then prove that first one, x greatest integer value of x is less equal by x, and which is less than greatest integer value of x plus 1, or it is strictly less. Okay, second one, greatest integer value of x plus n is equal to greatest integer value of x plus n for any integer n. Any integer n. Third one, greatest integer value of x plus y is less equal by greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y, and which is less equal by greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus 1. Fourth one, greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of minus x is equal to 0 whenever x is integer, and equal to minus 1 whenever x is any number other than integer, that is otherwise. Okay. Fifth one, greatest integer value of x divided by n is equal to greatest integer of x divided by n for any positive integer n. And last one is greatest integer value of x minus 1 is equal to greatest integer value of x minus greatest integer value of y, or it is equal to greatest integer value of x minus greatest integer value of y minus 1. So we have to prove these 6 points. That is, if x be any real number, then we have to prove this one. Okay. Actually, from the definition of greatest integer function, in general, we can write any real number x as, in general, x can be written as x equal to greatest integer value of x plus this x, where this x is nothing but is fractional part of x. So if we take any real number, then this can be written as its a greatest integer value plus its a fractional part. For example, if suppose we have to take 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2 is nothing but something 2.5. 2.5, so it's this 2.5 can be written as its greatest integer value, that is
2
plus its fractional part, which is nothing but 2. Greatest integer value of 2.5 will be 2. Now its fractional part will be 0.5. So if we take any real number x, then it can be written as greatest integer value of x plus fractional part of x. Okay. Now we have to use this one to prove this 6 point. Okay. Its solution will be, now if x is any real number, then it can be written as greatest integer value of x plus its fractional part theta, where this theta is lies between 0 to 1. It is never equal to 1. It must be less than 1. That is, it is 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 up to so on 0.9. That is theta. That is, it is nothing but the fractional part, and this will be the greatest integer value of x. Okay, theta will be equal to 0 if x is integer, and if theta is non-zero, then x is not an integer. Okay, now take this one as a start. Now we have to prove first one, that is greatest integer value of x is less equal by x, and which is strictly less than the greatest integer value of x plus 1. Now from this definition, this x is greater than or equal to this greatest integer value of x. If theta will be equal to 0, then x is nothing but greatest integer value of x. That is, for x equal to integer, theta will be equal to 0, and for that case x and its greatest integer value will be same. Therefore, from star greatest integer value of x is always less equal than this x, but theta is never equal to 1. Theta is lies between closed interval 0 to open 1. Therefore, this x is never will be equal to greatest integer value of x plus 1. Therefore, from star which is always less than the greatest integer value of x plus 1. कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये? थिटाची व्हॅल्यू 1 कधीच होत नाही. थिटा कुठून कुठपर्यंत लाईज करणार आहे तुमचा 0 पासून 0.9 पॉइंट समथिंग काही असेल, पण 1 होणार नाही कधी. ठीक आहे. आणखीन जे दिलंय याचा थिटा इक्वल टू जर 0 असेल तर हे दोन्ही सेम असतील, म्हणजे x हा x जो आहे तो ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर सगळ्यात लहान व्हॅल्यू x ची कधी मिळेल जर थिटा इक्वल टू 0 असेल तर, आणि ती मिळाली आपल्याला, म्हणजे जो x आहे तो ऑलवेज ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू पेक्षा मोठा असेल. पण हा या टर्म पेक्षा ऑलवेज लहान असेल, कारण थिटाची व्हॅल्यू कधीही 1 होणार नाही, म्हणजे हा ऑलवेज स्ट्रिक्टली लेस दॅन असेल त्याच्यापेक्षा. ठीक आहे का?
येस सर.
डाऊट असेल तर आता सांगा. कोणताही रिअल नंबर जर घेतला तर तुम्ही त्याला कसं लिहू शकता? ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ दॅट टर्म प्लस इट्स फ्रॅक्शनल पार्ट, वेअर थिटा विल बी अ फ्रॅक्शनल पार्ट. नाउ फ्रॉम दॅट डेफिनेशन ओनली, दॅट इज दिस स्टार ओनली, this x is always greater equal by this greatest integer value of x, since it is a sum of these two terms. Theta is always non-negative and so it is sum of these two terms, then it must be greater than this value, greater equal by this value. It is equal to this value whenever theta will be equal to 0, and it is possible since theta is lies between closed 0 to open 1. Okay, so x will be equal to greatest integer value of x whenever theta will be equal to 0, but it is never equal to greatest integer value of x plus 1, since theta is never will be equal to 1 only. It is always strictly less than 1. Therefore, this x must be less than greatest integer value of x plus 1. Okay. Now, second one. As from star, x is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus theta. Now, add the term n on both sides. Then we get x plus n is equal to greatest integer value of x plus theta plus n. Now, the greatest integer value of x plus n is nothing but the greatest integer value of this term, x plus theta plus n. That is, this can be written as greatest integer value of x plus n plus theta. Okay. Now, हा ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर जो आहे तो ऑलवेज इंटीजर असेल, तो इंटीजर आहे n इंटीजर आहे, म्हणजे या दोघांचा सम इंटीजरच येईल, काहीतरी इंटीजर असेल. आणखी थिटाची व्हॅल्यू कुठून कुठपर्यंत आहे? हियर थिटा लाइज बिटवीन 0 लेस इक्वल बाय थिटा विच इज लेस दॅन 1. देन व्हॉट इज द ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ थिटा?
0.
0 असेल ना. जर थिटा इक्वल टू 0 असेल तर 0च आहे. जर पॉइंट मध्ये काही समथिंग जरी असेल तरी त्याची व्हॅल्यू 0च आहे, म्हणजे याची ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू ऑलवेज 0च आहे. तर या टोटलची ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर व्हॅल्यू किती येईल?
Greatest integer x plus n.
Greatest integer value of x plus n. Since greatest integer value of x is an integer, n is also integer, then its sum must be an integer, and theta is lies between closed 0 to open 1. That is, greatest integer value of theta is always 0. Then its total greatest integer value is nothing but the greatest integer value of x plus n. So here, x plus that is greatest integer value of x plus n is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus n, and that is we have to prove. Now third one. In third one, we have to prove that greatest integer value of x plus y is less equal by greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y, and which is less equal by the greatest integer value of x and y, sum of greatest integer values of x and y plus 1. Okay. Now for that, let x and y be any real number. Let x, y be any two real numbers. Then by definition, x can be written as greatest integer value of x plus theta 1, where 0 is less equal by theta 1 and which is less than 1, and y is also can be written as y plus some theta 2, where 0 is less equal by theta 2 and which is less than 1. Now, x is nothing but this one and y is nothing but this one. Then x plus y is equal to greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus theta 1 plus theta 2. But we have to find out the greatest integer value of x plus y. which implies greatest integer value of x plus y is equal to greatest integer value of this one. Greatest integer value of x is integer, greatest integer value of y is also integer. Now theta 1 and theta 2 be the fractional parts of x and y respectively. If suppose theta 1 plus theta 2 is less than 1, then what will be its greatest integer value?
0.
0. And if theta 1 plus theta 2 is greater or equal by 1, then its its greatest integer value will be
1.
1.
1 or greater than 1.
1, sir.
1च येईल ना, कारण थीटा 1 थीटा 2 ची रेंज काय आहे 0 to 1 पर्यंतच आहे. हे 2 तर कधी होणार नाही, कारण 1 1 कधी पॉसिबल नाहीये. ऑब्विसली ते लेस दॅन 1 आहेत. यांचं सम जास्तीत जास्त किती येऊ शकतो 1.9 समथिंग काहीतरी येईल. पण याची ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू तुम्हाला लार्जेस्ट ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू थीटा 1 प्लस थीटा 2 ची किती मिळू शकते 1 मिळू शकते. म्हणजे टोटल ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस y इज इक्वल टू ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ y whenever theta 1 plus theta 2 is less than 1 and which is equal to greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus 1 whenever theta 1 plus theta 2 is greater or equal by 1. याच्यापेक्षा मोठी व्हॅल्यू तुम्हाला मिळणारच नाही, कारण थीटा 1 थीटा 2 ची रेंज इतके ते 2 थीटा 1 प्लस थीटा 2 कधी होणारच नाही. ठीक आहे, कोणाला काही डाऊट?
No, sir.
ओके, सो ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस y ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ y ही सगळ्यात लहान व्हॅल्यू असेल ना, थीटा 1 प्लस थीटा 2 लहान असतील तर. सो ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ y इज लेस इक्वल बाय ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ x प्लस y and which is less equal by greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus y. He is the required answer. Now fourth one, that is greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of minus x will be equal to 0 whenever x is integer and which is equal to minus 1 whenever x is not an integer. That is we have to prove. Let x be an integer. Let x be integer. If x is an integer, then greatest integer value of x will be x itself, and greatest integer value of minus x is for x integer. What is the greatest integer value of minus x?
Minus x.
Minus x. Now, so greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of minus x, which is equal to x plus minus x, and which is equal to 0, which implies the result is true for integer. That is, if x is integer, then our result will be true. Now let x is not an integer. As x is not an integer, then again this x can be written as greatest integer value of x plus theta whenever 0 less equal by theta and which is less than 1. Okay. Now multiply minus 1 on both sides, then this one is nothing but minus x, which is equal to minus of greatest integer value of x minus 1. Now we have to take the greatest integer value of this term, that is greatest integer value of minus x. Now we know that greatest integer value of x plus n is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus n, as here n is equal to theta. Now what is the greatest? This term will be always integer, then its value will be minus of x. Now what is the value of minus theta? That is greatest integer value of minus theta. Theta is lies between 0 to 1.
0.
0 पॉसिबल नाही आहे ना. जर 0 असेल तर आपण ऑलरेडी केस पाहिली, कोणती ही, त्या केस मध्ये x इंटिजरच असेल ना.
-1.
इथं स्ट्रिक्टली लेस दॅन जरी घेतलं तरी चालेल, कारण आपण 0 ची केस ऑलरेडी बघितली. म्हणजे थीटा तुमचं काय आहे, स्ट्रिक्टली ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आहे. x इंटिजर नाही आहे ना. जर थीटा इक्वल टू 0 घेतला तर तो इंटिजर होईल. जर x इंटिजर नसेल तर थीटाची व्हॅल्यू 0 पॉसिबल नाही, which implies 0 is less than theta, which is less than 1. Now what is the value of minus theta then? थीटा ऑलवेज ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आहे, म्हणजे -0.1 समथिंग जर असेल तर याची ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू किती होऊ शकते?
-1.
-1. So this one is nothing but, now add greatest integer value of x on both sides, then we get greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of minus x, which is equal to greatest integer value of x minus greatest integer value of x, which is 0 minus of 1. So we get greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of minus x is equal to 0 whenever x is integer and equal to minus 1 whenever x is not an integer. Okay, कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये? आहे नाही काहीतरी सांगावं.
No, sir.
Okay, now fifth one, we have to prove fifth one, that is greatest integer value of x by n is nothing but greatest integer value of x divided by n. Okay, now we know that greatest integer value of x is always an integer. Okay, this one is always an integer, and here we have to show that greatest integer value of x divided by n is nothing but the greatest integer value of, again, greatest integer value of x divided by n. That is, we have to divide this term by n. Okay, so as greatest integer value of x is always an integer and n is any integer, then we will use the division algorithm. Since here we have to divide this greatest integer value of x by n, then by division algorithm, as here we have two integers, greatest integer value of x and n, then by division algorithm this greatest integer value of x can be written as algorithm. This greatest integer value of x is nothing but it is something multiple of n plus some remainder, where 0 is less equal by r and this remainder is lies between 0 to open n. Okay, now and from star any x is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus theta whenever 0 less equal by theta, which is less than 1. Take this one as a 1, this one as a 2. Now consider greatest integer value of x by n. Okay, now from 2, value of x is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus theta, which is greatest integer value of x plus theta divided by n. Now from equation 1, greatest integer value of x is nothing but n into q plus r, which is nothing but n into q plus r plus theta divided by n. Okay, so which is equal to, now n into q divided by n, which is q plus r plus theta divided by n. Okay, so this one is nothing but q, as q is an integer, then greatest integer value of x plus n is nothing but greatest integer value of x plus n. As n is integer, then it is nothing but q plus greatest integer value of r plus theta divided by n. Now what is the greatest integer value of r plus theta divided by n? Here 0 is less equal by r, which is strictly less than n. That is, what are the possible values of r? R is lies between 0 to n minus 1, and theta is nothing but 0 less equal by theta, which is less than 1. Now whether it is possible that r plus theta is greater equal by n?
No, sir.
कळतंय ना मी म्हणलेलं, r ची व्हॅल्यू कुठून कुठपर्यंत आहे? 0 टू n मायनस 1 पर्यंत आहे. थीटाची व्हॅल्यू कुठे आहे? 0 टू 1 पर्यंत आहे, 0 टू ओपन 1 पर्यंत आहे. r प्लस थीटा कधी n येईल का?
No, sir.
No, sir.
n मायनस 1 प्लस 1 केलं तर तुमचा n पॉसिबल आहे. आणखी मग त्याच्यापेक्षा मोठा तर तो कधी येणारच नाही. पण 1 तुम्ही घेऊ शकत नाही कारण थीटा तुमचा 1 पॉसिबल नाहीये. याचा अर्थ r प्लस थीटा ऑलवेज लेस दॅन n आहे. पॉझिटिव्ह आहे पण लेस दॅन n आहे. मग जर त्या टर्मला तुम्ही n ने डिवाइड केला तर त्याची ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू किती येईल?
0.
0.
काही का पॉझिटिव्ह असेल ना त्याला n ने डिवाइड केला तर पॉइंट समथिंग येईल, अँड पॉइंट समथिंग ग्रेटेस्ट इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ पॉइंट समथिंग इज नथिंग बट 0. सो हियर वी गेट q. टेक दिस वन एज इक्वेशन 3. Okay, now consider greatest integer value of x divided by n, which is equal to greatest integer value of x is nothing but n into q plus r divided by n, and which is nothing but n divided by n, which is q plus r divided by n, which is nothing but q plus greatest integer value of r by n. But range of r is 0 less equal by r, which is strictly less than n, then greatest integer value of r by n will be
0.
0. Therefore, it is again q. So from equation 3 and 4, as RHS will be equal, then LHS must be equal, which implies greatest integer value of x divided by n is nothing but this one, which is from 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Okay. Now the last one, sixth one. Okay. For any real number x, we can write greatest integer value of x as x minus y plus y, since y get cancelled, and which is equal to greatest integer value of x. But this can be written as greatest integer value of x minus y plus y, and we know that greatest integer value of x plus y is equal to greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y, or greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus 1. That is from third one, greatest integer value of x plus y. These two are the two possibilities, that is greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y, or greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y plus 1. Now, so here we will take this x minus y as x and this one as a y. Then greatest integer value of x plus y is equal to greatest integer value of x minus y plus greatest integer value of y, or greatest integer value of x minus y plus greatest integer value of y plus 1. These are the only two possibilities. Okay. Now, if greatest integer value of x minus y plus y is equal to this one, then we get greatest integer value of x minus greatest integer value of y is equal to greatest integer value of x minus y. Or if suppose greatest integer value of this x minus y plus y will be equal to this one, then from this one we get greatest integer value of x minus y is equal to greatest integer value of x plus greatest integer value of y and minus of 1, and hence the required result. ओके. कुणाला काही डाऊट? 6 रिझल्ट मध्ये कुठेही काही डाऊट असेल तर विचारू शकतो.